We don't think we'd be here right now had we not met each other. There is a strong possibility of that,
Really?
dramatic as it may sound.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It took us to be sort of fall in love through all this chaos. But then when we both drank, the arguments would start.
So you did have some time together while you were both still in partying ways.
Oh, yeah.
But it was based very much on that.
Yeah.
And then you take away the crutch that people who self-medicate use, and then you've got nothing but reality, and that's really hard.
Yeah.
And for two people to be doing it at once.
Well, I gave up first because I said, look, I'm gonna make a go of this because I had a tendency to get out of my depth when I was like that. And Denise said, well, I haven't. You at the time you said, well, I'm okay having a few drinks. I'm in control.
I was still in denial that I had as much of a problem as Lincoln. I was on tour with a play, and myself and the cast had all said, let's invite a few of our sort of celeb friends down.
We had a party, yeah.
We had a party, and then I woke up the next day and I was on the front of a newspaper. I had no recollection of what's happening, and Lincoln drove to pick me up that night at the theatre and said, I don't want you to say a word. And from Richmond to Kensington, where his flat was, he spoke to me about how much he loved me. And how this was going to be very difficult to have one completely sober and one not. And we sat outside the house for an hour continuing the talk, and I've never had a drink since that night. I don't imagine there's many couples who met under those circumstances that would be as happily married as we are, 11 years later. Maybe there are, but we feel very proud of that. And we consider each other our anchors in everything we do.
Absolutely.
My mum died 3 weeks after that. And my only regret in life is that that she didn't get to see my sober life. She did know when she died that I was sober because of 3 weeks, but that's because everybody else, like my dad and my family and our kids, have just, it's given them wings to fly, the fact that we're sober.
And it's also given you two wings to fly, really, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
There are rarely people who get sober who say, I wish I could go back to my old ways. But it's hard. It's it's one day at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, one day at a time, yeah.
What is it you say that nobody ever gets up on stage and says, I'd like to thank alcohol and cocaine for getting me this far in life?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said that.
It's so true.